Hi guys, I'm Adam Wilborn from WhatCulture.
And I'm Andy Murray from WhatCulture. Today I'm going to tell you all about Triple H selling a considerable amount of WWE stock. I'm going to tell you who Jon Moxley's next challenger for the AEW World title is. And we're also going to talk about New Japan Wrestle Dynasty, the Madison Square Garden show. It has been postponed.
Plus, AEW have been hit with a massive fine because of all the shenanigans that went down at Full Gear and potential spoilers for the Women's Money in the Bank ladder match. This is the news.
Right, let's talk about Papa Paul, Triple H man, Hunter Hearst, Paulsley Levesque, selling stock in WWE. On Monday, it has been revealed via SEC filing, this fella sold over $1 million in WWE stock, 23,255 shares at $43.80 a piece, means $1,018,569. This comes on the back of Kevin Dunn selling some stock. Vince McMahon has sold some stock. Another executive whose name escapes me, I apologize, Mr. Executive, I don't remember who you are. He's sold some stock as well. Now, it should be noted that Triple H still has a lot of stock left in the company. He's not just selling up and buggering off. This leaves him with 144,646 shares in Class A common stock valued at $6.3 million in WWE. So we can't read too much into this. We can't sit here and go Triple H is selling up. It's almost certain that the fella just is taking advantage of the recent rise in stock prices and is cashing in for some fun money, baby, because I imagine a man like Triple H can do quite a lot with $1 million. I wonder what he's going to spend it on. What do you think, Adam?
I think it's going to be a giant cheese sculpture of Stephanie McMahon.
What?
I don't know, just sort of a weird fetish of mine.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think there's a lot to be read into here, aside from the fact that maybe Kevin Dunn, Vince McMahon, Triple H, and whoever the other executive is have a feeling that the stock is probably going to go down because everything's just sort of going down in the current situation. This is no slight on WWE, even though, you know, the current figures and stuff that they're doing on TV are terrible for them. Everything's not going well, so it would make sense, yeah, like you say, to sell a bit of stock. They're not getting out of the company. They, like you say, they might just need some finances to just try and buy some more turnips on Animal Crossing or whatever people are doing. I don't know. I haven't played that game. I wanted to buy a Switch after I heard everyone talking about it, and they've all sold out. So
yeah,
I don't think there's a lot to be read into this. I just get panicked whenever I hear the words SEC because I've been binge watching Billions, and I think, oh God, what's happening?
Yeah, there's definitely a touch of the Axelrod about Vince McMahon and Triple H and his family. Although I have these guys down as more of a Stardew Valley kind of people than Animal Crossing. Either way, not a whole lot to read in, as you say. We won't do that because we're not stock market guys, and if we sit here and pick this apart, we will look like complete and utter morons, won't we? So.
Exactly. Damian Lewis is going to play me in the film of WhatCulture. Who's going to play you, Andy Murray?
That's a great shout. Paul Giamatti, obviously.
Yes, great shout. But speaking of money, hey, a good transition. There we go. AEW have been hit with a massive fine, as I said at the beginning, for what happened in the match between Jon Moxley, the lights out match between Jon Moxley and Kenny Omega. Now, I say massive fine because it's a massive fine to me, to Andy Murray, to you, probably. But it is a drop in the bloody ocean for Tony Khan. 10 grand. $10,000. That is what they've been fined by the Maryland State Athletic Commission for the stuff that we kind of knew they were going to get fined for in that lights out match. This was posted to Twitter last night at Crispy Cruiser tweeted the documentation, and it says, per the order, AEW has been fined for the performers suffering lacerations that brought blood into the ring, violating state laws relating to professional wrestling and other related ability. They specifically mention things like the baseball bat wrapped in barbed wire, the tool similar to an ice pick, and that time where Omega dragged a barbed wire wrapped broom across Moxley's back. Oh, those were the days. Oh, and Jon Moxley hitting his opponent with the baseball bat wrapped in barbed wire. They have to pay $10,000 within 30 days, which, if this was WWE, probably mean more firings. But because it's AEW, it's going to be Tony Khan's loose change, probably.
Yeah, Tony Khan will take his pocket change, slap it on the desk, and there'll still be something like $5,000 spare. This is ridiculous, isn't it? Like, this seems really archaic and really old-fashioned. And, man, it wasn't even that bloody. Okay,
No.
like there was some little smatterings in here and there, but yes, some of the visuals were pretty jarring, like Kenny Omega dragging the broom with the barbed wire across his back, and of course the move onto the bed of barbed wire on the outside and stuff. But like, it wasn't even a proper death match. This is nuts to me. This is crazy to me, and we know, of course, that this is official as well. They're like, this has actually happened. It's not a work. We've seen an official document. It's doing the rounds. It's everywhere. So. I don't know, man. This just seems really dumb. What are these people doing? Like, 10 grand for a little bit of colour in a wrestling match.
And also, like we said, they surely know that AEW and Tony Khan have quite a lot of money behind them.
Yeah.
It's like when they find football clubs, and I think half the stuff that football clubs do is a lot worse. And I also think this is going to discourage them. And yeah, I mean, I suppose it's a nice bit of press, if anything, for AEW, for like hardcore fans, or as in hardcore wrestling fans, who would appreciate something like this. Do you know what I'd do if I was Tony Khan? I'd go along to the courthouse, I'd take Dr. Luther and Jimmy Havoc with me, and I'd write out a check for 20 grand and just let them have it out in the parking lot whilst they're there.
Yeah, absolutely, man. That might be the best way to do it. And, you know, positive side of this, Jon Moxley can now use this as a character bit. I'm so dangerous, I cost the boss money, or whatever. That could work quite well. And speaking of Jon Moxley, do you know what he's doing next? Do you know who he's facing at Double or Nothing on the 23rd of May? Well, it's not MJF like we predicted yesterday on the Wednesday Night War podcast. It is Mr. Brodie Lee. This came about on last night's Dynamite. Jon Moxley just beaten Frankie Kazarian. A bunch of what they called craters, not craters, creepers from the Dark Order. I was just going to say
goobers, to be honest.
Yeah, the Dark Order goobers and the beefy one who had his top off. He's a monster. They all came out and kind of beat everyone up. SCU came down and got beaten up as well. Brodie Lee comes out in his suit, batters Christopher Daniels on the ramp, comes down, issues the challenge, says some stuff to Jon Moxley. Jon Moxley says, if you want the belt, just ask for a shot, effectively, and it's happening. Moxley was laid out by a boot to close the segment. Interesting direction. You know, I like Brodie Lee a lot. I like Jon Moxley a lot. Personally, I'm not sure this is the right direction, but it's certainly something fresh, and I don't think something that a lot of people saw coming.
Yeah, mixed emotions around this. First of all, can Brodie Lee always wrestle in a suit? Because I don't know why, but I really would quite like to see that. Mixed emotions about this. Arguably, it's my fault. I feel like a lot of things last night I was disappointed with because I just made stuff up in my own head. I'd convinced myself that the Revolt were going to show up, and then when they didn't, I felt sorry after what was a wild street fight between Les Sex Gods and Kenny Omega and Matt Hardy. The chasing. Anyway, I'm getting off topic here. I anticipated it was going to be MJF. They announced he's obviously going to be facing Jungle Boy at Double or Nothing, and instead it's going to be Brodie Lee. It'll be an entertaining little match. We were discussing this beforehand, Andy, and you were pointing out the fact that we don't really know if Brodie Lee's over. Yes, you can sort of gauge it a little bit by social media, but there's been no fans since he arrived in AEW to gauge what the reaction towards him is going to be. But I have no doubt these two are going to have a fantastic match at Double or Nothing. I'm going to allow you to take on the take that we will no doubt see across social media because it annoys me and I can sense it really gets to you. This is the third WWE main event for the championship that AEW have had. Andy, how about it?
So what you should do when people make these arguments is, number one, ignore them. If they make it again, number two, mute them, because it's stupid. It's nonsense. It's like, one wrestling promotion has dominated the American marketplace for 20 years. They have hired pretty much everyone of name value during this point. So the idea that a promotion like AEW is just supposed to sit there and go, oh, well, we can't give Jon Moxley a spotlight because he worked somewhere else. Well, let's elevate, Sonny Kiss instead. And I like Sonny Kiss, but he's not as marketable a commodity as Jon Moxley. It's a silly argument. It's daft. It's nuts. I get the TNA allusions, but TNA drew these criticisms for pushing guys like Orlando Jordan, who were no goddamn good, when they had guys like AJ Styles and Samoa Joe making names for themselves. It's a silly criticism. It is nonsense. It is perpetrated by people incapable of lateral thinking and contrarians. At me if you disagree, I will mute you straight away. It's a stupid argument and I'm tired of having it.
I didn't even realise that Lance Archer and Goldust had fought in WWE until I saw stuff doing the rounds on Twitter last week, and I'm absolutely fine with that happening because I really enjoyed. No, nothing against Dustin Rhodes, but I really enjoyed watching him getting murdered last week.
Yeah, it was a great match.
Just because, as well, they're putting on these perceived WWE main events doesn't mean they aren't creating their own homegrown stars. MJF is still getting built. MJF is probably going to beat Jungle Boy at Double or Nothing and just make his case for to challenge for the championship more undeniable. And the fact that, personally, I want to see MJF versus whoever the champion is, preferably Jon Moxley, in an arena with fans. I know we may have a sort of slow bleeding in of a few people in the arena, but I want a proper packed house for MJF versus Jon Moxley because I think it's going to be spectacular. Plus, yes, you may argue, oh, Cody's beating him loads and he's just burying him. But Darby Allin is still being built as a star, and we're going to get to him in some Twitter questions. It's a stupid argument. Don't make it. Stop. And like me, I enjoy both NXT and AEW. You can enjoy both things, for Christ's sake. Stop picking sides. You're ruining this for everyone.
People have lost their goddamn minds. And again, you have to, think about making new stars and stuff. This is a process that takes upwards of a year, even longer in some cases. You don't just put a guy in a main event and suddenly he's a star. Darby Allin is going to beat Cody at some point. And because he's lost 3 times or whatever, it's going to mean all that much more, and it's going to be such a bigger moment. Darby Allin and Sammy Guevara will be a pay-per-view main event sometime in the next 5 years, but these things take time, people. Chill and relax.
Arguably the only reason why they're doing all these WWE main events, along with all the other stuff that we've mentioned there, is the big guys that they can bring in from other promotions are going to have to come from WWE. Look, I'm sure if they could sign a Kazuchika Okada, then they chuck him in the main event as well. But they can't, or they haven't, or it's a different kettle of fish. Just give it time and stop trying to ruin things for everyone. Just enjoy wrestling whilst we can, because it's just nice to have different things right now. Anyway, let's talk a little bit about this Sunday's pay-per-view, Money in the Bank, and some potential spoilers for the women's Money in the Bank ladder match. It appears, and people have taken this as gospel after what happened on Monday Night Raw, that the winner of the women's Money in the Bank ladder match is going to come from the red half of the match. Basically, Nia Jax, Asuka, Shayna Baszler, they look like they're probably going to be the ones to claim the women's Money in the Bank ladder match briefcase thing. I've said it so many times now I don't even realise what a sentence is. Because WWE, of course, this week has teased Becky Lynch confronting whoever it is who has the Money in the Bank briefcase on next week's Monday Night Raw. That wouldn't make really any sense if they came from the blue half of things. That would probably be Bayley or Tamina, perhaps, because, of course, they've got a championship match. The other half of the things on the SmackDown side of things, Lacey Evans, Carmella, Dana Brooke. To be honest, I think if you'd have asked anyone, you'd have probably got long odds on any of them getting the briefcase. It looks like it's going to be Nia Jax, I bloody hope not, or Shayna Baszler, bloody hope so, or Asuka, I'll take that as well, who is going to grab that briefcase on Sunday. But I can't wait for this match.
Should be a good match. Like you say, Paul, it is weighted in the favour of the Raw wrestlers. Carmella's been out of the title picture for a while. Lacey Evans is chased, but she is still not quite the finished article yet. And Dana Brooke, I like Dana Brooke, but she's not winning Money in the Bank, if we're being very honest here. It's going to be Shayna, it's going to be Asuka, it's going to be Nia. I think probably Nia, if I was a betting man, I would maybe throw 50 pence on her name to win the match.
Pasty bet, I love Shayna.
All right, let's shake hands through the thing. Let's go for it. I think it'll be a fun match. It'll be a fun event. Looking forward to seeing how these weird matches climbing the corporate ladder come out.
Yeah, it's going to be Asuka, you do realise now we've made that bet.
Yeah, it probably will be. Kairi Sane will win somehow. I don't know how.
I'll take it. I'll take it ahead of Nia Jax.
Me too. One last sliver of news here. New Japan Pro Wrestling continuing to be the best company in terms of handling the ongoing global situation, have postponed their Wrestle Dynasty event, which was set to be the big Madison Square Garden show on, I believe, the 21st of August. They've postponed it till 2021. No concrete date yet, no ticketing information, but they're going to announce that in due course. They released a statement basically saying that they've, of course, moved this because of what's currently going on around the world. They are extremely appreciative of all their great fans worldwide. They state that the health and safety of wrestlers, staff, fans, and society at large is of the utmost importance, and they hope to be back in the ring in the near future. Good. Great, perfect. New Japan have handled this so well. They haven't let anyone go despite massive revenue shortfalls. They haven't held a single empty arena show. They've postponed everything. They've cancelled events because clearly they are, a great deal more conscientious than any other company through all of this. And I think they've been the shining light, to be honest.
Yeah, unquestionably. And New Japan are the babyface promotion out of all this. AEW had an opportunity to further cement themselves as the sort of nice guys to WWE's evil bastards, but they've kind of slipped into the similar vein of what WWE are doing, so we can't automatically just praise all that just because it's AEW. New Japan are looking fantastic coming out of this, and I, for one, as someone who's constantly promised that I will get into New Japan, I'm going to really dedicate myself to doing that because they merit our support after, just like you say, putting everyone else, all their performers, all their staff, the fans, everyone ahead of revenue, and I think they're doing a wonderful job.
Yeah, I know this is a meme, but you really do love to see it.
Yeah, exactly. Right, let's move on to your Twitter questions at WhatCulture WWE. Of course, if you want to get in touch with us. First question today comes from everyone's favourite Misfit,
Legend,
who says, with official Taz offering to help Darby Allin, could we see a story of other legends offering to guide him? If so, who would you like to see be his mentor? For me, it's got to be Sting.
Sting's a really great shout because they're similar types of baby faces. Really good shout, actually. Can you imagine Darby Allin in surfer attire for it? That'd be hilarious. Thinking about this, I think maybe Tully Blanchard would be interesting because you have the Sean Spears affiliation there, and Sean Spears is another rival of Cody, and Cody's a rival of Darby Allin after the losses and so forth. I think that's the most interesting direction to go. You can have Darby kind of playing with heelish shades for a while because Tully's a sinister, manipulative son of a gun, and they can split eventually, and Darby can realise you ain't no good, Tully Blanchard, and then you can have a match with Sean Spears as well. There's so many directions you can go down with it. I think that'd be cool.
I really like that as an idea. Sting's a great shout. I love Taz, friend of the channel. And I think what they do with his wonderful video packages where he highlights, say, Kenny Omega's moveset or whatever, it does work really well. And hopefully,
Gary Neville.
Yeah, exactly. Hopefully, if you actually genuinely want to take advice from someone from a sort of analytical perspective, he is the Prozone or whatever it was called back in the day of wrestling. Take his help, Darby. He's going to help you win. But yeah, any of those names sound fantastic to me. Punk Raver Pizza gives us our second question of the day, saying, I know at some point Sasha will win the SmackDown Women's Championship, but what if at Money in the Bank Tamina wins the title off Bayley, then Sasha goes into a feud with Tamina?
Yeah, that's certainly one way of doing it. Tamina could hold it. Sasha could take it off Tamina. Bayley could be like, hold on, I'm the role model. Hey, that's my belt. What are you doing, Sasha Banks? That would be a good way to kick it off. However, I would love / hate to see the reaction that a Tamina title win would generate online. But nobody's meaner, so
don't put it on Tamina. And also WWE. It's very WWE because they're getting so close to finally doing a proper blow off Bayley Sasha main roster feud. So for them to just go, sorry, put it on Tamina would be so them. But yeah, just do the stuff that we expect. We're fine with it. Just like the hacker stuff, which hopefully we're going to find out on Sunday as well. Final question today comes from Brother Phil, who says, when lockdown and social distancing comes to an end and we can meet up with friends and loved ones again, God, I can't wait to smell you, Andy Murray. Whose entrance style will you use? Brother Phil is going with Edge.
I've got 3 different options for you, right? The first one is bow, 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 coming through the office, black and white, the NWO theme, playing my leg as an air guitar, feather boa, Hulk Hogan calling everyone brother. The second one is the Gangrel Brood entrance. Obviously, I'm going to turn the lights in the elevator at the offices red. I'm going to have that hitting off. I'm going to have a shirt swaggering out of the lift. But the first one I'm going to do is going to be the Lance Archer entrance. What I'm going to do is, if there's anyone in front of me, as the music goes, everybody dies, I'm going to throw them at the office door, spit some water in Ben Roy's face. Sorry, Ben Roy, but you're the nearest person to me. And then probably put Josh Brown through a window. That's what I'm going to do.
I was going to say, on my mental image, because he sits directly across from you, is you poor Ewan Patterson getting thrown through the glass office for some reason.
I'll throw him like a dart.
Poor guy. God.
Poor guy.
Yeah, all good suggestions. Edge is a great shout. The obvious one is like Titus Worldwide with Adam Nicholas, or the Iconics with Adam Cleary. There's a bit of me that just wants to do the Batista, just the once we walk in. But I think the main thing is less walking into the office and more the end of that first day in the office when we're all allowed to go out and get back to normal. Just climbing on my desk and asking Phil Chambers to just chuck me some beers so I can stone cold it. Because that's all I want to do right now. There was a scene in Billions, actually. I was watching it last night and I audibly just went, God, I want to go to the pub.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that Axe Capital office is going to be the environment of our office for a while. I feel. Sorry if you don't watch Billions, by the way, viewers, but you should. It's great.
Oh my God. Speaking of billionaires, let's move on to today's, and finally, it's the perfect seg. And I just wanted to read you, this was doing the rounds on Reddit Squared Circle and popped me big time. The Battle of the Billionaires, Tale of the Tape from WrestleMania 23. Run you through, it's of course Trump versus McMahon, even though it was like, you manga! And Bobby Lashley representing them. Height, Bob, don't know who Bob is. Donald Trump, 6'3", Vince McMahon, 6'2". Yep.
Okay.
Weight, Donald Trump, less than Rosie O'Donnell.
God.
Vince McMahon, more than Bob Costas. The nicknames, the Donald and the Genetic. Jackhammer, of course. For some reason, what's the next? What would you say is the next thing that height, weight, nickname? What's next, Andy Murray?
Girth.
No, walk. It says Trump's calm, cool stride, followed by McMahon's arm-flapping power march. And the final part of Tale of the Tape, I'm fairly certain this wouldn't work on any other match ever. Height, weight, nickname, walk. People kiss his ass. Trump figuratively, McMahon literally.
No, brother. I forgot how stupid this was and how petty this whole thing was. Heavier than Bob Costas.
I might go back and rewatch this match, to be honest, after all that.
Mate, it's like an all-time great shambles, isn't it? It's like so entertaining for all the wrong reasons.
Exactly. Right, let us know your thoughts on that and all of today's news stories. I've got to close it. I can't. It's putting me off. Let us know your thoughts on that and all of today's news stories in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And subscribe to WhatCulture Wrestling on either iTunes, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts from for daily wrestling podcasts. Myself and the Daddy Boys reviewing the Wednesday Night War later on today, and then live 4 p.m. here on YouTube. We'll be answering all your wrestling questions, doing a bit of Get the Table, and dealing with any breaking wrestling news, possibly even speculating about what WWE are going to do to recover that awful Raw ratings slide. Plus, let us know your thoughts and Twitter questions on Twitter at WhatCultureWWE. Watch there, follow both of us. You can follow Andy Murray at
Andy H. Murray. The H stands for Herb Abrams died doing the things he loved: cocaine and hookers.
I need to watch this Dark Side of the Ring, don't I? It sounds fantastic.
Yeah, it's class.
Follow me at Adam Wilborn. Follow us all at WhatCultureWWE, as I said. But for now, my thanks to Andy Murray. Thank you for watching. We will see you soon.